Hi, everybody, and welcome back to our third segment of 50 Shades of Blonde today. This is our 4th anniversary show, and so we are super excited to have our next guest on because he was actually on our very first show. And tell them a little bit about our next guest.
Oh, Guy Dawson. He is so awesome. Actually, Guy, I followed you for a long time because he was Mr. Everywhere when it came to networking. And he had a radio show. Actually, I think I was on the radio show with Tony at one point in time. But Guy has done a lot for our community as well. So I'm not sure how many years you've lived here, but it feels like I've been here 20, and it seems like you've been here a long time.
25.
25
This is my
years.
25th year in Las Vegas. Wow.
Wow.
Well, welcome, everybody. Guy
Yes.
Dawson.
Thank you so much for having me back, ladies. And I mean, what an evolution, right? I remember sitting in my car talking to the two of you about the concept over Zoom
Yes.
or FaceTime or something like that when you were coming up with this and just kind of mentoring you and sharing. And here you are, you're legends now, all right? 4 years in the game.
I'll never forget one thing that you told me, and this is when I came to do your show for the first time, and you said, don't ever pay for your own show. And I remember you said that, and we've remembered that ever since. And I just would like, since we have this opportunity with you here, to thank you for so many things, for leading and helping and guiding me.
Yes.
When I first met you in networking 7 years ago, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And you just explained everything and showed me the purpose for it. And then after that, having me on your show, which is now I blame you, why I'm
Miss Media.
yes, I'll be everywhere. Thank you. Because that was so much fun. And then Jill wanted to do the show kind of like as a memoriam for my dad, Guy. I mean, you knew my dad for a long time, and he just loved you so much. And he was so proud of you because he would tell me, that Guy Dawson, he's a real go-getter, and I like go-getters. And, the time you spent with him was so meaningful, and then, sharing at his funeral. So you've been a big part of my life and my dad's life, far more than I think you know. So thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you so much, Missy and Jill. You both, you mentioned, we've been a part of each other's lives for a long time. And you go out, maybe you go to a business networking event and you just think that it's about, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna hustle up some business, make some contacts. But what you learn, what I've learned networking pretty much since 2008 in this town is that the relationships that you create are so much broader and more significant than that. Yes, there's lots of business. We've shared business with one another through the years, but when you really think about it, it's just the relationships that we've cultivated. I mean, your dad and I was so just impressed with him when I first met him. And here's this guy, he starts this rags to riches. He's got this amazing rags to riches story, but he was such a giver, with his willingness to share what he knew about business and how he went from nothing to being a millionaire. And then he was very humble about it. He really didn't, and he was genuinely that way. I know you would talk a lot about, he would show up for these events and he would say, well, who's going to want to know what I have to say about? But if you sit down with this guy, Jay, this guy's a genius when it comes to how to run a business.
Yeah, and he was so, at the beginning I said, hey, Guy Dawson's going to come over and talk to you. And, well, why would he want to talk to me? And that's just how he was, his whole life. But then the thing is you're a lot like my dad in that way, is that you're a giver. I think of Bob Berg's series, Go Giver, right? That is who you are. And you don't find that very often in the networking world,
Yeah, well, I can say very early on when I did start networking, I was in Ace Fair. We all know Ace through networking, and he really took me under his wing. Back in like 2008, we had an event that we did over on Harmon. It was Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf that used to be over there on Harmon and Maryland Parkway. And one of the things, I mean, I was just getting started in business, had my Vistaprint business cards, you know, that I could get for 99 cents.
Yeah.
And remember, you could get like 100 business cards. So I was starting on a shoestring, but I went into that group, and Gina and Ace, they really took me under their wings. And their philosophy is giver's gain, and Bob Berg's books, you know, Endless Referrals, which I think is one of the most amazing referral-oriented books, the same as The Go-Giver. And when you have that philosophy, I think that people who I've seen who've been successful maintaining their businesses throughout. I mean, we had 2008, we were in a major recession.
Right.
And I mean, I saw a lot of businesses fall apart. I was starting my business at that time, and I had that experience. And through the years, I think the givers, it's just been something I've seen. The givers seem to be the ones that stay in business. Right. And people who don't give as much tend to pay a price for that. And yeah, I have a lot of people to thank for that mentality, the least of which is your dad, because he always talked about how important it is to give your all when you're working with your clients, and that, you know, that mentality, it transfers into all other areas of your life.
Right. So what would you say, what is your biggest lesson learned for you in your business as it relates to networking?
You can absolutely build a successful business if you're committed to networking. I mean, it's from scratch. I mean, my business, I was $75. I had $75, and at that time I was doing a lot of writing, and I signed up for an online job board where I would write press releases and articles and things for businesses all over the world. So my business was started from nothing, but the networking community built it, because you get out there, you start meeting people, then they hire you, they give you some smaller jobs, you do a good job with what the assignment is, and then you start to be known for certain things. And it just has a way of snowballing and building. And I mean, I would say through the years that 95% of the business that I've had has been a direct result of networking through referrals.
What would you say, I want you to make sure that you talk about what you're doing right now, the professionals.
So when the pandemic kicked off last year, as you know, now we couldn't go do what we all love to do so much, which is business networking, because everything was shut down. The whole world is on lockdown. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, how adapt? Like, how can I create some type of an environment that will be of value? Because that's, like your dad talked about that, just be of value to people. And I figured professionalism, there's a topic that everyone understands. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, it's not all about business. You could be either a CEO of a company or a janitor, but you understand, it doesn't matter. You could be just as much of a professional if you were a janitor as you could be as the CEO of the company. It's a mindset that you have. And I said, maybe I'll put together this group on Facebook and we'll talk about principles related to professionalism. And I just tested it just to see what the response would be. And I was shocked at how interested people were in the principles of being a greater professional. So as the year has gone on, we're a little over a year now. Now we've got a good core over on LinkedIn. We're developing quite a bit of a following on Meetup, and we have a larger concept that we're creating called theprofessionalslead.com, which is going to be an online and in-person organization that fosters greater professionalism, kind of the each one teach one philosophy, you know, that we teach each other about how, through our own experiences, how to be greater professionals.
And you have how many people now are following you, like, on your Facebook page?
430, I think it's 437. Yeah, in 1 year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That-
And
That's-
originally it
yeah.
was just me, you know, I just invited, I mean, I have a lot of friends and I invited all my friends, but it just took off. Then everyone was like, Jill was one of my biggest cheerleaders from the very, and
I was inviting everybody.
Jill is the ultimate networking cheerleader, by the way. If you want to connect with someone who will get you out there, you need to make friends with Jill. I mean,
true.
Missy too, but Jill,
Jill's it. She's
Jill
the
is
networking
the
queen.
cheerleader of networking in Las Vegas.
Thank you.
The head cheerleader at that, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Everybody knows who you are. It's very rare that I ever meet anybody that doesn't know Jill.
That's after 10 years of networking, I guess.
Yeah, she's just so enthusiastic about it and genuine about wanting to promote people. So yeah, you just
I do.
both
I
of you
love
are just
helping
such great
people.
examples, and now you're these media moguls.
That's us, media moguls.
Moguls, yeah. MMs, yep, that's us. Well, thank you for that, Guy.
Yeah. Like I get a lot of satisfaction out of seeing other people succeed, and because it's a reflection of their commitment. You know, I'm a very big person on the commitment that you have to your improvement and to your business and how important that is. And you can see it. You see it through the years, even in a networking environment where lots of people come and go. We've seen so many business people, they drop in, they have this agenda, that agenda, but some people are just so committed to their business or to providing value. And when I see people like the two of you who have that type of a commitment, I mean, that energy, it bounces off of each other, you know what I mean? We
Right.
all benefit from good energy.
So what is like one thing that you've like taken away from Guy over the years?
One thing is that he's not afraid to try anything. And he always, whatever it is that he decides to do, he does it. He doesn't give up. He just keeps going. And then if it doesn't work, it does take him a long time to get to the point where he realizes maybe it's not working, which is a good thing. That's the way it should be, because we all know that story about, you know, you shut the door and sure enough, you shut it at the wrong time, because just right on the other side of the door was what you needed to see. So I appreciate that, Guy. And you know what I love is the fact that when we started out with our show, I really appreciate it because we went in knowing zero, absolutely nothing. And we walked in there and they said, oh, it'll be easy, just sit there.
Yeah. You're like, okay.
And it was like, oh my gosh, what? What are we supposed to do? You know, because we didn't know, but obviously we liked it and we're still
You're
here.
still on the air. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been in the broadcasting industry for a decade, and I've seen many, many shows come and go. There's not many shows out there that have lasted 4 years, really. But there again, your commitment, you know, your
Right.
commitment to providing this to people, your blind perspective to the
Yeah,
world,
I was
which is,
gonna
which
It's
is
that 50 Shades of Blonde, people don't forget that.
So for people out there that are maybe, you know, after COVID, there's like a lot of people that chose to start over and do something different and to leave jobs that they no longer, you know, loved or passionate about and have started something. So what would your advice be to those people that are just getting started? What should they be doing?
I would say hang around with people who are success driven. I think the company you keep really matters a lot. And I know that can be challenging a lot of times for people who are just getting started in business because they have a whole crowd of people that they've maybe been hanging around for many, many years. And that crowd, not that it's a bad crowd, don't get me wrong, but the
Right.
goals are different. So the mindset is very different between someone who is committed to being an employee. Again, employees make the world go round. I have them, so I'm not, this isn't an indictment of being an employee. It's just, there's a mindset that's very different in being someone who shows up and gets a paycheck for something and goes home and doesn't think about it, as compared to when you're gonna strike out and create something on your own that you're responsible for. The bills only get paid if you pay them. The paycheck, you have to write other people paychecks before you get your paycheck. It's a very different mindset.
Right.
And I would say, yes, hang around with people who've been in business. Spend a lot of time, seek mentors. Seek out people who are willing to share their experiences. I love SCORE. I think SCORE is a great organization for anyone who's getting started in business, because you've got people there who, for free, most of the things that they provide for people are completely free, and they can help you out with your business plan, with helping you to develop what your product is going to be. But yes, the people around you will have a great effect on whether or not your business will survive or not.
Awesome advice. So if people would like to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Well, they can go to our company's website, classicommunications.net. We're a full-service public relations and marketing company, and we've been helping businesses and organizations and individuals since 2008 with all of their public relations and marketing needs. We write articles, press releases, social media, any service that you need to bring greater recognition to your brand, we are happy to provide you with.
Awesome. Guy Dawson, we love you and everything about you, and we're so thankful for you, and thanks for coming out
Yes.
today.
Yeah,
Thank
keep
you
up the
so
great
much.
work, ladies. I am beyond proud of the two of you.
Thank you.
50 Shades of Blonde goes on and on, doesn't it?
On, that's right.
Thank you, everybody. And stay tuned for our next guest. We'll be back in just a few minutes.